Make sure we're recording. We are recording. Hey guys, this is Chance Williams, and today on Chance Shop Talk, I've got a very special guest here. This is Mr. Jamie of Jamie's Automotive and Automotive Repair.
Yeah.
Is just solid automotive repair?
Yeah.
All right, so this guy right here has been in business quite a while. I remember him way back in the day. We hardly ever get out and talk and socialize because me and him both just, we work.
That's right. Yep.
We work ourselves to death. So today we're going to dive back in deep to it, and we're talking firsthand to all of these business owners that I'm interviewing to get you guys some insights on how to start it. You need to be taking these notes if you are seriously considering jumping into automotive business, because it's not like it was 25, 30 years ago. Now, first off, I'd like to formally introduce you, if you would. Go ahead and formally introduce yourself.
My name's Jamie Traylor, and I work for, I own Jamie's Automotive.
No, you work for Jamie.
I work for Jamie's Automotive, that's right.
Just like me, I work for me.
Yeah.
As one man says, you got every person that walks in the door is a boss. You're not a boss.
That's right.
You're not a boss.
That's right.
Every person that walks in the door has got to be satisfied no matter what.
That's right.
It's one of those things that we have to do every day, isn't it?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your background, man.
Yeah, I'm 43 years old. I got one little boy, Aiden, and I'm not married.
Have you ever been married?
No, I had never been married.
Never been married?
No, never had.
Sweet. That works out pretty good for you, I guess?
Yeah. It
Awesome.
all right.
I guess it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good thing. How old's your boy?
He's 4 years old.
4 years old. Good Lord. Man, mine's grown and gone.
I hear you.
That was the best day. My electric bill went from like $500 down to like $250. I was like shocked. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, it's one of those things that it is what it is. So I'm glad you got a little 4-year-old, because you actually get to raise him in the world you want to.
Oh yeah.
You have to shelter him more. You know that.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately, we have to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So look here. What brought you into automotive? And let me back up first. Was you a technician before you were a business owner, or did you just jump into it with both feet? How did that work out?
When I got out of high school, I started working for Ryder Truck Leasing.
Ryder Truck?
And anyway, I wasn't making any money there, and so I had to hunt me. I was trying to hunt something else, to make it. And there's a car lot in the Grange that got me started. It was Payday Used Cars, and he had a milk truck that run out of the Ryder shop up there. Anyway, we got together right there, and he bought a bunch of in-out cars at the auction, and needed somebody to fix them, And so I started doing it, and it started from there. It just started rolling slow, and it started going.
How many years ago was that?
It was I've been at my shop 21 years. So it's been probably 21 years ago.
Wow, 21 years ago, cars wasn't nothing to fix.
They wasn't. I'm telling you right now, I say that all the time.
Yeah, 21 years ago, cars was
they was easy.
They were pretty easy. All you had to do is tag on to an old fella knows what he's doing.
That's right.
And you could just, you could overhaul, the story it brings back to me is Andy Griffith.
Yeah.
I think it was Gomer took a whole car apart, put it inside there. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
What do you think about cars nowadays? How tough is it to adapt to this stuff, man?
You got to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
You got to stay on top of it. If you don't, you'll fall behind fast, because it changes every day. I mean, it's something else. I don't really know other than just staying on,
Lane departure. Yeah. They got just tons of. I guess the last thing that I read was processors are processing at 50 million bits per second, or 50,000 bits per second, or something like that. That's faster than a plane.
Man, I'm telling you, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all.
That is faster than a plane. So when you was working at that car lot and stuff, I guess did you come back? Did you come up from a good upbringing, mother and father and that kind of thing? Well, that's a good thing. Yeah. So they always support you and everything you want to do?
They help me out. Yep.
That's good. Did you ever have any negative people in your life telling you couldn't do what you did today?
I never had nobody really tell me, I never really listened to them anyway. I mean,
that's the point, not listening.
That's right.
Yeah, not listening.
And but my mom and daddy, they helped me get started. You know?
Did they?
And
that's
they
a
helped me
story right there.
Helped me get a loan, and I built my shop, and then from there.
How long was you working on cars before you decided to jump on the bandwagon and open your own place?
Well, the experience that I had, you know, was working at Ryder Truck Leasing. I'd been there for maybe 2 years. 2 years? Like that. So,
wow, so you was brand new jumping into it. Then you stuck around the car lot for a year or so or something like that?
Well, I never worked at the car lot. I built my shop, and a 2-bay shop.
Yeah.
And anyway, I built it just to tinker or whatever, you know, is what I was going to do. But anyway, the car lot come along, and I started working down there on their stuff. And there's a guy that worked at the Ryder shop with me. His name was Yogi, is what I call him, Barry Smith. Yeah. And he told me he taught me a lot.
Did he?
A lot, and that's where I learned a lot. You know.
Why is it so hard to find somebody like that nowadays?
You know, I don't know.
It's like everybody's all for one and one for all.
That's right.
It's crazy, man.
I keep saying, I mean, you know, the automotive technician and all that, it's a dying breed.
It's going away.
It is. I mean, it's getting hard to find a good technician.
You know, I've done several interviews, and that's one of the toughest things. The last few interviews I had, that was one of the things that come out of their mouth. And I've been, you know, I've been hiring for 25 years, and I've been firing for 25 years.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They look good on paper, and they get here, and you go, "What I do?"
That's right. That's right.
I mean, I hauled a guy all the way in from Arkansas, him and his 5 kids, and put him up in a daggum house for like 3 months rent. And I was like, "This guy's, you know, he's got." His tools, man, were immaculate, and they were like brand new. I'm like, has the guy ever used this stuff?
Yeah.
And it proved to me real quick he didn't know what he's doing. It cost me $5 grand.
Mm-hmm.
It's mistake learned, but that's what you do. You search and you find, and hopefully, you know, with support. I guess it's support, right?
Yeah.
If you can get the right support, you can do anything. And if you can't get the right support, it's just harder to do, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So, what kind of? So you started out with just a little 2-bay shop. What size shop you got now?
I got it. It's well, I've added on to it twice. It's 30 by 150, and
that's a pretty good size shop.
It's more room, but I'm not going to do nothing else. You know,
I ain't doing nothing else.
I'm done. I mean,
this is just. We're at my shop here today, guys. I just thought I'd tell you, and this is it's about 10,000 square feet, and I'm not adding on. I need to at times.
Yeah.
But the problem with it is the support help's not there, and the people that are supposed to be working to put these kids in the workforce that really love and get involved in doing automotive are just pushing them away from it.
Yeah.
And that's my feel. I feel like they're pushing them away from it. And I guess one is such a huge investment in tools, right?
Yeah, it is.
What kind of money did you actually get started with, Bo?
I didn't have nothing. I was living. What it was I was living at home. I was still at home with mom and daddy.
Yeah.
So I could, you know, I mean, if I failed, then I just had to get me a job somewhere else, you know. But
failure's not an option at that point.
I was bound and determined though. I was going to make it. And, by God, I worked and worked and worked, and I made it.
How many hours a day did you put in?
I would work when I built the shop down there. I worked at the Ryder shop too.
Yeah.
So I hadn't quit there yet.
So you done 2 jobs at once?
I worked second shift up there.
Ooh, wow. So that's determination right there, buddy.
I worked from 7 till 3 in the evening to 11:30 at night there, and I would get off at 11:30 at night. Me and Barry, Yogi, we would get off there and go to my shop and work. Sometimes we work all night, you know.
Golly.
We work till the next morning.
You know, that's sad because I did the same thing.
Yeah.
When I worked at Ford, my first dealership I worked at was actually my very first car I ever messed with was 12 years old. It was a Galaxy 500. It took me all summer, but my mama paid somebody to put a timing chain in it. The guy didn't tighten the bolt up and it jumped, and so I took that whole thing apart.
Yeah.
I lived in the country and I was walking a mile to people's houses just to get tools. You know, come back. And I'll bring them back. I did. I took them back to them. But I mean, those are the good old days. I love those days. You know, you get out and really do it. if you have determination on anything, you can do
Yeah.
it. So it sounded like you had a lot of it.
Yeah, you got to go with it. You got to get it. Yep.
So so it's about 21 years ago that you opened your shop, right?
Yeah.
So you pretty much had no money to do it with.
That's right.
So I guess this was the shop at your mom's house. Is that what?
No, it was my daddy owns some land where we're sitting down on
okay.
the Bartlett Road. And,
All right, so that's a sweet little deal. Actually,
so
helps
I
you out
put
right
it
there.
on his land. And,
Oh man.
Anyway,
Is he charging you?
no, we don't go right now. Yep.
That's awesome right there.
But I put it
That's
on
well, that's awesome because if you stay good with your family, eventually everything they have to go to you.
Oh, yeah.
But the sad part about it is you have to deal with the government after that part.
Oh yeah, you ain't kidding. You ain't kidding.
Well, man, that's a pretty damn good story right there. I like it. I like it. I wish I had. I didn't get the opportunity to have a mother and father. You know, it would have been nice, but that's awesome. I love that kind of that feel because you still got family and you love each other.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. And make sure you raise that boy just the same.
That's right. That's right.
So you started pretty much nothing. So now, 21 years later,
Yeah.
how is it? How's it feel? Was it worth it?
Oh yeah.
Is it?
Oh yeah. It was worth it.
So what was the worst part of getting it buying the tools from Snap-on or
Hey, you know, hey, hi.
or dealing with the customers up front?
You know, I didn't have no problems with the customers. You know,
Yeah.
I was always nice. I mean, you know, I always just
Polite and nice and proper.
straight with them. You know,
Yeah.
and just tell them. You know, and but I never had no real big problems. And my sister come to work for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, she handles all that now.
Well, that's even better.
Yeah.
She doing a good job for you?
Yeah, she does a real good job.
Yeah. How many people you got over working for you?
I got me and two more.
You and two more. That's kind of like me here, but I'm done. I'm done with the hiring thing.
Yeah.
I'm hopefully, you know, I'm easing out.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know, 25 years and 2 back surgeries and loving this business. Don't get me wrong, I love it. I'll
yeah.
probably be doing it till the day I die,
Yeah.
but it's hard. It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. Now, a lot of you guys out there, I'm not trying to scare you off, just be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is, a lot of you guys' situations are a lot different. A lot of you have maybe have real good friends that you went to school with that's real good at working on cars. But we're going back to another story that I've told you guys. You can't make a transition from an owner to a buddy. And I'm gonna talk to him about that because trying to make a transition from a business owner to make business decisions to your buddy over here, you're fixing to hurt his feelings because he's sitting there on his phone or something and you got a customer up in the office, and I know this happened to him. This happened to every shop. How would you handle something like that? Is that one of the toughest things you had to do?
Well, yeah.
You're fighting yourself between your customer and your friend.
Yeah.
And you're a boss.
Exactly.
So what do you do about that?
I kind of let it go, you know what I'm saying, for a little while, but then after I had enough, I stand up and say, hey.
When you had enough, you put
gotta
your
do
foot down?
something.
Yeah. I've had that happen a few times. I can't stand it. I know it gets under your skin.
Yeah.
Wait till these guys out here that we're talking to, that we've lived and done the same thing they've done.
Yeah.
I got 35 years in, 25 years of business, and you got maybe 25 total as everything.
Yeah.
So you're doing real well. That's awesome. So you wouldn't change anything over the years, but if you had to change one thing over the years, what is one killer thing that is one of the biggest things that these guys out here really need to know before jumping into something like what we do?
I know it's hard to do or whatever, but I mean, if you're just starting out, keep your costs low as you can. You know? I mean,
well, that goes back to education.
Yeah, and I've done that. I mean, you know, I've done without for a while on certain tools, but I made do, you know, until I got where I could
afford
it, you know.
And now, what kind of investment would you say you have right now in tools?
Boy, I don't even know. I don't even know, to be honest. It's
After
a lot.
25 years, tools have done disappeared, and you don't know where they're at.
That's right.
A buddy borrows them and never brings them back, and you forget. And,
that's right.
Until you go over his house for a barbecue. hey, buddy, that's mine right there.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of these guys out here love doing auto repair, and there's a lot of them in the body shop business. I did an interview with Shane, and I hope to work with them. And Shane, the stuff that you go through and the things that I go through, you're right. In a sense, if you're good, you're proper, you're honest, you stick up for your customers and say, hey, if you're right and I'm wrong, we're going to take care of it. Let's figure this out. And he was always one to stand up and take care of that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's one of the number one rules in business is take care of the customer, somebody else will.
Right.
Is that right?
That's right. Yep.
It's always been that way, and that's kind of the foundation that you have to build with these folks when you are doing a business, because it's there. It's I don't know. I really don't know what the whole world's going to in automotive, but I can tell you, it's like this. Like the man says, it's evolving very quick. So, say where you think somebody like us will be in the next 25 years? I'll be gone, at home doing something or across the world doing something. But if you're still turning wrenches, where do you think it's going to pull in the bank?
Probably electric car.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go back to the thing that he talked about. One of the biggest things is keeping your costs down. In order to do that, you need as much education as possible, right?
That's right.
So that's one of the things that I had to do when I was coming up, and that was pay somebody to teach me.
Yeah.
You know, and so I jumped on the bandwagon with a company years ago that was just, if I had to do it all over again, I would do it in a nutshell, just that quick.
Yeah.
The company now is called Drive, and it is a drive management system that they use to actually help you increase your pretty much increase everything from the front end to the back end. They show you guys how to operate and run it, and they've been an outstanding company to me. And I'm trying to let people know out there there's help, and you do have to pay for it. Unfortunately, I've already paid and built for their building. I done built their building after the last 20 years. So they've changed their pricing structure too. It's, from what I understand, it's nowhere near the money that I actually spend. So I highly recommend people jumping into Drive. I will post a link below, and y'all can click on it and check them out, because they are a wonderful, wonderful company. And there's some good folks in there, very smart, and that's all they deal with is automotive. They don't do automotive, then go over to do a hair shop. So it's one of those things that if you want somebody that does something, you need to make sure they stay, true to one thing that they do. You don't want a doctor that does heart surgery in the morning, then foot surgery in the afternoon, or wrapping a bandage.
That's right.
You want him to stay concentrated on on that heart.
Yeah.
But so let's see what else I got in the hot seat I can ask you about here. We're still gonna go back to this again, because it's always the toughest thing. Do you have how hard it is to find an ace #1 guy that you can give a ticket to and have him come back with almost perfect repair and never see that customer again and have an awesome experience? Have you found that guy?
I have not. Yeah.
How long you been looking?
For a long time.
For a long time.
I got one guy that's been with me, TJ Hudson, and well, both of them, and David's good too.
Yeah.
But TJ, he's been with me for 16 years.
That's good.
But he's real good.
One of the hardest things I think for us, and the reason we can't find those types of guys, is we are pushed upon so hard on regulations that we have to do, right? We have to have workman's comp, we have to have garage keepers, we have to have business license, we have to have power, we have to have a building, we have to have a structure. Everything like that starts costing a lot of money, right? So when you try to keep your costs down, and I'm not y'all can take this however you want to, but I've been in business a long time. Keeping costs down is a plus to try to help your customer, but at the same time it can hurt you in the long run. I'm sorry, it just can, because that's where, and he does it, and I try to do it too, keep it down as low as can. We don't have the funds for the classes that we really need to send these guys to, for them to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? And would you say that's kind of what it boils down to, is the much money as we have to pay in our taxes and all this other stuff? It just takes a lot out on us, right?
It sure does.
Yeah.
It sure does.
And it's just hard, and it's just really tough in business. In order to succeed, it's hard to sit there and explain to a customer nowadays why an engine's $8,000.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
It's how much?
Exactly.
Jump that thing. It did not say it. I bet you pulled in so many, go, and the next thing you know, they're taking them. I got this Volvo right here.
Yeah.
That's about a $10,000 bill. Yeah. I'm begging them not to fix it. Yeah. I'm serious. I just don't want to walk away from it, because I'm pretty sure from what we found on it, it's got a lot of communication codes and stuff like that. And I think it's soaked under the floorboard with water.
Oh man.
And I really don't want to fool with that.
Yeah, I hear you.
But there's money to be made in quick and easy jobs, but at the same time, you have to have investment in tools, and You know, look at this cabinet back here. I mean, look at all this equipment right here. Y'all think that stuff's free?
That's expensive, very expensive.
Very expensive stuff. But anyway, we'll move on to something else. I guess I get off that one fabulous guy that we won't ever find.
Exactly.
But that's kind of one of the things that I think in my mind it plays out is they just pound the taxes on you. The more you make, the more you pay, and and I understand that. And they also say when it takes money to make money, and I get that too. But if it takes money to make money, you keep making more money, they keep taking more away.
That's right.
And it just gets tougher and tougher on us. But at the same time, it can be done.
Oh yeah, it can be done.
It can be done very well, and you can make a very good living at it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, like Mike Lee told me, the guy that owned the company that trained us, he said, "I will make you an extremely good living, but you'll never be rich." And I looked at him, I go, "What do you mean?" And then he says, "Unless you own multiple stores."
Yeah.
I don't want to own multiple stores. They had that. They had the plan set in action, and I almost did it in 2008. I had a few bankers sitting in the back there, and it was a $1.2 million deal in Noonan.
Yeah. And
we run our business by numbers. I'm not sure how you do, but we have graphs and bars and all that stuff that we want to know what our points are and what we missed and what we got to make up for the next week. And that's what Drive does. They set you down and do it on paper, and it works real good. Excuse me. But anyway, we're sitting in there, and Barbara says she's looking at something, and I'm looking at her. What are you looking at over there? I'll be right back. So she comes back, and I said, "Barbara, but guys, y'all wait a minute." And so I go on and I go back in there and I said, "Guys, my wife's saying we got to stop." And she says, "Why?" I said, "They said why?" I said, "Because that number right there, that's our power graph. It dipped."
Yeah.
And they go, and I was like, "Y'all should know what a power graph is. You're bankers." And then anyway, 2 weeks later, the bottom fell out. And a couple of them called me and said, "How the heck did she know?" I said, "Man, I'm just telling you, she went by one little dip."
I tell you
if
what,
I had done that, I would have lost everything.
You ain't kidding.
It would have been over with.
Yeah.
So my strongest point in my business is my wife, and I assume you have a girlfriend or anything that's backing you really well that helps you out.
Oh, Robin Wilson. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So y'all got it going on. That's good. How long y'all been together?
Probably 12 years.
And you ain't got married?
No.
Well, that's good. Ain't no pressure. Yeah. Don't run out and do it tomorrow. I'm just saying, ain't no pressure. So, who are some of the people that you looked up to? You know, in automotive or in just life in general. You know.
Yeah.
Who's kept you motivated? I guess, so to speak.
See, I looked up to Mr. Winkles was my high school automotive
Mr. Winkles is pretty cool.
Yep.
I like him.
And
I've done a few things for him, helped him out over the years. I like him.
Yep.
Is he still? He's not at school no more, is he?
You know, I don't know where he's at really.
I hadn't heard from him in a long time.
He's not at Troop High.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah. No.
Well, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Well, who else you got on the list?
I guess I looked up to probably would be Yogi, you know. Barry Smith, whenever I was coming along there.
That's awesome right there.
And
it takes people to look up to the order to say, "Hey, I want to be like that guy."
Oh yeah.
You know, and then if you say, "I want to be like that guy," but then you should have a little more aspiration, say, "I'm going to be as good as that guy or better."
Yeah.
You know, and that's, I guess that's the hardest thing nowadays is to keep that drive, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
How many hours a day you put in now?
Oh man. We'll see. At least probably 12, 13 hours a day now.
Yeah.
You know. And
you work 5 days, 6 days, 7 days?
Well, we try to work 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, but man, that's something else right now. So
yeah, you keep a lot full of cars, especially if you're good at what you do, and I know you stay very busy. I'm usually anywhere from I know you're probably at least 2 weeks to a month out, and I'm that way now.
Oh, yeah.
But I did a little different. I got 4 days a week.
I hear you.
And I work about 10, 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
And I do this stuff right here to get out and talk to folks and find out what's on their side of the bridge. You know, I want to know where you came from. And I'm proud of you for sticking in there and doing it, because there's just no, like you said, it's a die and breathe.
It is.
And I always ask myself, I'm not even, I was going to say something, but I better not. And I'm going to keep that for another story. I'm just not going to say that. But So anyway, when you get into automotive business, it's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. You tell me that you work 12 to 14 hours a day. I do the same thing. But I'm learning to back down, 4 days a week, and I do work 12 to 14 hours a day. Sometimes I work 16 hours days. And then the coolest thing about it though, what I like is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If I want to come up here and finish something up, my door's closed, nobody comes in.
That's right.
That's the best time to finish something, right? But it's hard to get that done when you, look, man, they'll drive around the building.
Oh yeah.
And come in.
Oh,
I was in here doing a video one day with a truck apart, and I'm sitting there talking, and all of a sudden, hello.
Go figure.
But anyway, look, Jamie, man, you've got to get the. I know what it is. I've got some questions that actually a couple of my members in the group want to ask you. Is that cool with you?
Oh yeah.
All right, let me see if I can find it real quick, and I will get it pulled up here. It is. All right, we got Justin Hester. He says, about how much did it take to start your own shop? But I think we already covered that. But go ahead and give him an idea of how you did it, because I guess one of the things that he's thinking of is, man, I got to have $300,000 and to get a building, and then I got to have 150, 200,000 in tools. It's not necessarily like that. You can start from nothing. Is that right?
That's right.
But it takes years. You're not going to get it done like now. It can't happen, right? Not now. It's not like that, right?
That's right.
So tell them how it is.
If I was going to start out, which when I started out, I went and got a loan with my mom. I had nothing, so I had no credit. So my mama and daddy, they signed with me to get the loan, and I can't even remember what the loan was. But anyway, it was enough to build my building, and anyway, I built my building and just, didn't have no lifts, done everything on the ground.
Didn't have no lifts? Oh, God.
Done everything on the ground.
So you bought everything a little bit at a time?
A little bit at a time.
Yeah, and that's how I did it.
Yep.
But I did start off at 25K to start with, but I only had 3K at the end because Snap-on got 21 at it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's no joke.
Yeah.
So yeah, you started off slow. And see, you don't have to start off large, guys.
Yeah.
You don't have to start off with, how do you say it? Whatever that fancy steak is. Filet mignon or whatever. Filet, whatever it is. I can't even say it.
Yep.
But anyway, now you don't have to start off like that. You have to start off with a good reputation and treating people right. Is that right?
That's right.
So it can be started off from nothing. The man's telling you it happened.
Right.
All right, we got another question here from, I'm not sure if I pronounce his name right, but I'm just going to say Delio Lopez. He wants to know, now this is a tough one.
Yeah.
Hey, he just laid it out here.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready? He says, how far are you willing to go or have gone to stand behind repair that one of your mechanics screwed up, and what was the result, and did you retain the customer? So that's a bunch of questions. Yeah. So what was the worst mistake one of your guys ever made? Ever made?
One of my guys, he blew an engine up the car.
Ooh, Lord.
Anyway, there's no question about it. It was our fault, and we fixed it. I bought the engine, put it in it, and I told him I was going to buy the engine, and he put it in. Well, he wasn't going to put it in for free, so he quit.
Yeah,
I bought the engine, and I put the engine in, but I got the engine, I fixed the car.
That's a pretty bad mistake, because that's literally the same thing that happened to me, identical.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that. We'll get together on the phone and tell you about that. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that was how far you was willing to go. You went the whole distance.
Oh yeah.
So did you get to keep the customer?
I don't think they ever come back. I don't believe.
Everything come back.
I don't think they come back.
You think they didn't come back because, well, you was honest with them. You told them, hey, we screwed up.
Oh yeah, and I fixed it.
So you don't remember. That's just so far back, right?
Yeah, I don't think they come back though. I don't believe.
Well, would you do it again if you had to?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I know a lot of shops that I don't know why, but they'll stand up and say our guy didn't do it, our guy didn't do it, and keep fighting back and forth with the customer, regardless of whether they gonna know that they did it.
That's right.
That the shop owner just don't want to release the money.
That's right.
And he has insurance for that if it's a good repair shop, right?
That's
and
right.
you carry insurance too.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a fortune,
Oh, yeah.
right?
That's right.
Lord have mercy. And I guess that's it. That's that's from two of our members here. Hopefully they'll understand. I remember talking to Mr. Lopez, and he was telling me he was upset.
Yeah.
Man, he was stomping his feet and mad. I said, dude, you know, just chill. It happens. It is what it is, and you're gonna have to. And he got to telling me the whole story, and I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is. It's gonna happen. It doesn't matter if it's an ace guy. Something's gonna happen, right?
You're gonna have.
Hey man, I had an ace guy that was pulling up out the road right here and got hit in the rear end.
Go.
They arrested her, no insurance, salvage title car, and I still had to pay.
Go figure. Yeah.
Oh, so it doesn't matter. There is horror stories, but there's also provisions for that that can be taken to account for, and I know he does it. He's got more likely funds that he shoves over into different accounts in order to cover stuff like that. And that's where Drive comes in. Drive can actually show you actually how to run the front of your business. Guys, this is Chance Williams, and this is
Jamie Traylor.
This is Jamie, and I sure appreciate him coming out and giving some words of advice and wisdom, and how he started, and knowing that he's going to be around, because he's been around 21 years now. You know, they say you can't kill an old bull, but you can slow him down.
That's right.
All right, guys, you take care. This is Chance Williams of Chance Shop Talk. Check the links below, and y'all will see the things that I'm doing as far as affiliate marketing. Try to make my job a little bit easier on me and my body, and this man too. Hopefully one day he'll have somebody to run his shop, and because he's got a boy coming up.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, my girls don't want to have nothing to do with it, so I had all girls. Take care, guys. Until the next time.